Well, hello there, Miss Adcock. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Susie Godsey. And how are you?
I'm wonderful. Fancy meeting you here.
Such a wonderful place to hang out, I have to say. So, are
Totally.
you ready to have a greater connection, Susie Godsey?
Well, I certainly am.
Me too. Me too. So
Yay.
Susie and I thought we'd jump on and say hello to everybody who's already taken the Start the Conversation class with Susie or I or any of our amazing facilitators around the world, and just give you a little taste of what the advanced Talk to the Animals class is that's called Creating Greater Possibilities. So are you ready to have a greater connection with your animals? So Start the Conversation is very much about leaning into your communication capacities, acknowledging that you're aware of energy, and exploring how you uniquely reach and perceive and receive animals and develop that beginning of the conversation. So, what is Creating Greater Possibilities about, Susie, and why would people want to take it?
Well, for me, it's all about really that sense that we're not separate. And I know this is always like such a metaphysical and spiritual way of talking. Oh, we're all connected and it's all wonderful. And yet, most of us don't experience life this way on this planet. We often have that sense of disconnect and that sense of aloneness and that sense of separation. And I think it's one of those things that requires a lot of diligence and the willingness to really turn around your whole way of how you're looking at the world. And animals can really be very, very helpful with that because animals live in the present moment. They don't live in the past, they don't live in the future. Yes, there are some animals that can have issues, but in general, an animal doesn't live away from its body. It's basically right there and present. And so when we're willing to actually be present with them, then we can also open ourselves up to something completely different. And I know so many people have also turned that off because they get very emotional when it comes to animals. And, a lot of people have this fear of like what's going to happen when my animal dies that prevents them from actually really enjoying the animal throughout their whole life, or even having an animal. I've met so many people that say, I don't want to have an animal in my life because I dread that moment when they die. So in a way, to me, this advanced Talk to the Animals class is really showing you also how you no longer have to be just living by your emotions, but that there is actually something else available and possible if you're willing to step out of that emotional way of being.
Mm. And the freedom, I know for me, we facilitated a lot of these classes together, Susie, and even facilitating the shift that occurs in my life, the freedom beyond the thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions, because what this class facilitates and the animals desire to facilitate all the more is for you to be free of that trap, that you get to be more present in your life. Your awareness becomes greater. Your capacity to perceive and receive becomes greater, and your willingness to be a very different energy in the world. So the ripple effect goes out into every relationship you have. It goes out to everything you're adding your energy to and what you're engaged with. And that magic, the osmotic magic that then flows into the rest of your life is just, I'm in awe of it. It always changes how I be and function, which is what you began the conversation with. So, imagine being free of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. How would that be in your body? How would that be for your entire life? How would it be with your relationships? So, and your entire experience of your time with the animal kingdom. How does it get better?
Yeah. And I remember, it's funny because for some reason, that giraffe keeps popping in that we worked with.
Yes.
And I'm not sure. I'm like, why are you popping in? What's going on here? But I remember facilitating this giraffe in this park. It wasn't a zoo, but it was like a park in Texas. And this particular giraffe had, was it in Texas? Oh, anyway, I don't remember. Anyway, but I remember the giraffe very, very, very much. And so, it was basically like, it wasn't very happy with what was going on because it wanted a mate. And we were asking them why this giraffe basically was alone, and they said, well, the other one had died, and and they were all in their heads about the complications of all of that, and how to introduce, like, anyway, it was very, very complicated in their world. But the giraffe was just like, can I please have a mate now? And it was quite simple in the way that for the giraffe it didn't really, it was sort of like, what's going on here? Why can't I just have a mate? So, and I don't know why is this so loud right now, but to me it was so interesting to see how when we get into the logic of things and when we try to explain something, we try to organize something and we try to make it right, and the animal is just so much more like, well, I don't need any of that, just get me a mate. Like, it's that simple, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much the people were complicating everything. And this is, again, people that get into the thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions rather than actually leaning into the animal's world and asking the animal a question. I think people have this perception of, well, animals are in zoos or parks or whatever because they're being taken care of. It's like, well, are you actually taking care of this animal? It's on its own, But that's a great example, Susie. And just the acknowledgement, the giraffe, when you were there and you were literally physically there with this giraffe, that when the animal is received, when the animal recognizes somebody can hear them and somebody actually is reaching into their world, it changes things instantaneously. This is the thing, animals will change, and they offer us the same possibility that we can change stuff instantaneously. And it's the thoughts, the feelings, and emotions that stop that and shut your awareness down and get you into that complicated mental masturbation state, which is not really fun for a lot of us. Some people love it, but that sense of the receiving of the communication and the receiving of what the animal truly desires to gift is much easier to perceive and receive when none of that is in the way. So what else is possible with creating greater possibilities? What would this class open up for you, change in your world, and facilitate the animal kingdom with? So if you'd like to join us, talktotheanimals.com. You can find out information there, or on the Access Consciousness website under Susie's profile or my profile. Anything else, Susie?
No, thank you. I think that's all for today. And what else is truly possible when we're willing to receive? Even from a little fly sitting on your hair, you could receive.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And truly, what else is possible that we've never considered before?
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Bye, Susie.